Are you calm?
No. Okay, 16 to 23.
Yeah. Let's see if we're got the sound coming through.
It still says we're waiting.
You want to press the refresh button?
Okay, now we are. Yeah.
We are. We're making noise.
We're making noise.
All right. But are we coming through?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes, all the things are done.
All right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Are we starting or no?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to the Weekly WAYPN. I'm Karl.
I'm Sanai.
AKA.
And we ain't sung guitar.
And I'm feeling a little Asian because I'm having some dim sum.
Yeah, you have some dim sum. Very good, honey. You say the correct words.
Rather than dim sim.
Yes.
Because we call them dimmies here. Haven't you ever had a dimmy?
There are more dimmies coming our way. Thank you, brother.
Be very careful.
Okay, I will be careful.
These are Kyle XY levels of hot.
Oh, really? Wait, I don't quite understand. Is it because he talked about the juice in a very rude manner?
No.
What?
When he touched the stove and his father was the superior communicator.
Oh, he told him not to touch it.
All right. Let's just move on to the things, okay? And we'll do the actual TV show that we're here that the people made us do.
Okay. Joseph.
It is Joseph.
I finished the Aeon Trespass.
Oh my God.
God forms.
This is Aphrodite.
No, honey. What? No, you're lying. Where is this? Wait. What the heck? What in... Oh, Jesus. Lords cannot save us all.
Wow.
Let me just finish what it said here. Along with my kitchen floor... and 2 loads of laundry, 3 more to go. I have comfortable underwear again. I know, you're all eager to hear that. I've also prepped the remaining Aeon Trespass models along with 2 Frosthaven characters we have unlocked. Frosthaven? Betrayer? You can only play Frostgrave. Some info before you look at the pics. 1. These are not actually the gods. They're dead. These are titans who, at moments of great stress, usually when dying, can rarely, 10% chance, go Super Saiyan and channel the essence of a dead god. And that's why some of these models are a different gender or different body type to what you might normally expect for their god. Huh. Okay. 2. The God Forms box was not a planned release. During COVID, shipping prices soared and the company decided to soak the price, but said we could help out by ordering their freshly assembled God Forms box. It was cheap for 14 models. The point was to make money quickly, so I think they've reused assets wherever possible. I definitely recognize parts of some of these models from other Titans and hurried out these models as quickly and cheaply as they could to maximize profit.
This is apparently Athena.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I could kind of see it with the Athena.
I think she's stabbing Starlight.
It seems that way. Or it could be that they literally sculpted the shing. And that's what I took away from it. But...
Oh, you're right. Look, it is...
It is literally the shing.
I'm going to have to say that's kind of dumb.
I know, because we've seen it done before. With one of the models, they did the sparkle. Sculpted the sparkle, and Joseph was like, how the heck do I do this?
You don't. You just get really sad.
Yeah. Anyhow, I hurried out these models quickly and cheaply. they're not bad, but they're not brilliant, and I didn't feel they were as good as their regular models. Given the low quality and the fact that they have a very low chance of seeing the table, I've definitely opted for quick and dirty techniques. I'm okay with that.
So, guess which god this one is?
Hephaestus.
Demeter.
What? Sorry, microphone.
Not you guys. So she doesn't care about you guys watching
What
the
in
TV
the world?
show.
Okay, we should probably talk about the paint jobs.
Yeah.
Although this is very, very interesting to know whom is whom that looks completely different.
Well, this one is Dionysus I can buy.
Fine god. Because, like, the fatty over here, who apparently is Aphrodite, I was like, isn't that supposed to be Dionysus? But I'm like, what happened to Cupid, my guy? He's having his aerial moment on the rock, you know, and they flip the hair and the wind is... That's literally what they're trying to go for. The seagulls be flapping around and he's on a rock.
Sonny's just lost the plot. Oh, Helios. I'll buy this as Helios.
Well, Joseph, I think you've done well. Like, you do it the way you usually do. Ooh.
That's an interesting artwork.
Very interesting. And how do you paint this?
Like that, apparently.
Yeah! Oh my god, yeah. A full body OSL effect. That would be quite interesting, Joseph.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I feel like, I know that you're not going to care too much about these models, but I thought that might have been a great opportunity to... Yeah, that makes sense. Opportunity to experiment with that one.
But I like what he said, clearly auditioning for MCU's Colossus.
Oh, I don't think I know Colossus. If you showed me a picture, I might know him.
You definitely do.
But yeah, I think for tabletop quality, I beat it out of the park, my man. Like, as per usual. Yeah, very consistent style. I'm not really sure if there's anything I would say to improve other than I really think with your airbrush, might have been able to give a try with that full body OSL effect.
This is Hera, but I just like that she's got all the barnyard animals in front of her.
Oh my goodness.
And like, because I just think she's just like, Zeus no.
Zeus no. Oh yeah.
He's like, that's a particularly sexy looking sheep.
No, honey, don't do it.
It's true. That's what he's like.
He is a horny man.
It's a Hermes.
I think it's not bad, the lighting, the sort of the shing, the way that you've done it. It's actually not bad at all. Oh yeah, see this angle. This angle is the angle.
It's golden angle.
It's the golden angle, and it really looks like the comic. You wouldn't even be able to tell. I think the problem with Aeon Trespass is that they take the artwork too literally.
Yeah.
Everything from the pose to even the... I don't know what you would call, like, the shing light. Like, what is that particularly?
Environmental effects?
Yeah, let's call it environmental effects. They just sculpted everything word for word instead of, like, trying to modify it to fit a 3D.
Yeah, it's like somebody who's like, alright, we're going to turn this book into a movie, and, like, they turned it into a 10-hour movie. And you're like, you don't have to
do it
literally word for word every single thing.
Yeah, just like condense it and summarize it.
Oh my god.
But your water effects is really well done. It really looks like a wave.
I'm sorry, but the sharks, they just look like puppets.
They
you know, like
the hand puppets and the...
Yeah, the hand puppets. Hey, you can tell Mr. Sharky what happened to you. It's going to be okay.
Hey,
nom nom, all the bad guys.
Hey there, Poseidon. What you up to today? Nothing much. Just making waves.
Like, it looks okay the way this is done, but like, yeah,
I think the sculpt of the... Well, he did say that they sort of...
like, made it quick.
Cheap.
And like, I don't think you could do any better than what Joseph has done.
I feel like they could have done it a bit thinner, the lightning. But only wherever it is touching the model. Like, if you go back to the model itself, see, you have the lightning that's touching the back, the arm. Like, all that can be a lot thinner. And then maybe near the hair, like, even that can be a little bit thinner, but everything that's a bit more suspended can be thick. So this is nice to look at. You stealing my dim sums? No. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Alright.
But yeah, so it looks like he's got another project going on.
I wonder what this is. It still Aeon?
Who knows? At this point,
But that looks a lot better.
that's the Aphrodite as portrayed by Jack Black, who is feeling just fabulous, as he said.
Absolutely.
Fabulous.
Jesus Christ. The song was quite happening, unfortunately.
Dun, 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 dun.
And it is very meme.
Alright, so let us move on. So next up, we've got Tomas.
Tomas! Hey! I
It's
woke
like-
up today and thought I should finally make a base for my Skatari guy, so I made one.
It does look very good.
What is that? Is it like stone soup?
Stone soup.
It looks like stone soup.
Just eat your food.
No, I'm eating.
She's hungry and it can't be helped.
It looks delicious. It looks like tom yum, but with stones in it.
I'm so glad that I woke up today. It's fine. You know, there's not any problems. So it's probably that earthy coloured dust and rocks poking up through it. Yeah?
I don't know.
It gets the Cal seal of approval.
I still think something's not quite right with it.
Well, you'd be wrong. Alright, next up we have Luke Cassie.
Oh! Would you look at this? The last 2 weeks have been quite stressful for me. I didn't have much time to paint, but I have been able to find time again to complete a mini. Here's the first member of my Creeks army for War Machine. If you have any feedback, I would love to hear it. This looks very box arty, don't you think, Connie?
It does, so he's looking for feedback. So I assume that you're going for character level plus or showcase, right? You're really trying. So the first thing I would say is blocking. So when we look at this, right, this should be at the back of the miniature, the shrub, right? Because it takes away from all of this. Or alternatively, be something smaller. Because currently your base is taking from the mini. I'd say that you have to work on your metallics because you've got some really intensely nicely done line work, right? So, for example, your edge highlighting, the edge of this, I think the way that you've done the skin, the way that you've done the skull, really, really, really nice, right? But when you do great work with painting, the problem is that when you do that, what happens is it's a lot like cleaning. When you clean, the problem is that people notice what's not done rather than what has been done, which is very frustrating. Like, I'm saying for you, and for anybody who tries for high level painting. But I'd like you to take a look at your metallics, right? So I am not sure whether some of these sheens are from the light source or something that you've done yourself, right? So I can tell with some of the gold how you've highlighted into the steel, right? It looks to be a sort of greeny sort of gold. I'd probably try and push for a coppery or a brass style gold with this, because you've already got so many green tones. So it's like green tone, green tone, green tone, right? There's nothing breaking up the model. Like bronzy brass would be particularly good because like that would be a different color.
I can agree and disagree with what you're saying, because it seems that he's going for a majority sort of monochromatic theme here.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it actually works because there is plenty of value difference between that part and the dark green bit underneath that. But at the same time, yes, if you go for a brassy gold, it will give an element of warmth to it. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Yeah, so I think that, you know, obviously you've done excellent work. I think that your highlighting with your skin has been quite nice, you know, its placements, all of that sort of thing. But what I particularly look at is like trying to step up your metallics, because it's obvious that you put a lot of work into all of this, and also step up your base game, because currently this thing, it just doesn't feel right at all. I shouldn't say that it doesn't feel right at all. I should go back to what I was saying. Like, it takes away from the model. You can get smaller spike sort of stuff. You can do a lot with a good base. My point is more to the fact that currently, you know, it's just not working, that base. Would you agree with that, Sonny?
Sorry. I do think you're right. Like, it should move to the back, but I do think that color scheme wise, it works.
No, I'm not talking about color scheme wise. I'm talking about just size of it, and
I
like
think a smaller tuft if he was going to put it at the front,
and probably another element to the base, because currently
there seems to be a rock. Is there a rock?
Yeah, well, but see, like, it might just be more sort of gravel sort of thing. We don't quite know, and yeah, so it's not exactly selling that. But
my final point would be the edge highlight, because you have such a realistic look with everything else with the model, but the edge highlight, because it's so
stark.
I think because it's so stark, it creates a sort of cartoonish, comic-y feel.
I don't think that's a problem though.
I think maybe a slightly a color that's not as bright as that, maybe just two shades, a shade or so darker. Because it is taking a lot of my attention as I'm viewing this model. My eye just seems to get drawn to the edge highlights more than anything else.
Fair enough.
And you have such wonderful technique that's been done with literally everything else in the model. And that is the one thing that's sort of standing out, because stylistically it feels different to the rest of the model.
Yeah, all right. Well, I think we've given all we can to that one. Let's move on to the next one. So, next up we've got more from Joseph.
Hey, WAYPN, any of you marine biologists by any chance?
Oh, yeah, somebody actually had an answer for this.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, I'm currently painting this guy who lives at and appears to be made of the bottom of the ocean. 2 doors down from SpongeBob, perhaps? Anyone know what those dangling sax things are I've ringed in red? I've identified the things on his hands as tube coral, which can be a few different colors, allowing me to break up all this green. But I cannot work out what his danglies are. Some sort of egg sac from fish has left behind. More coral. Please give me something I can Google for.
So this is something that Tomas suggested.
Oh, that does look a lot like the thing.
Yeah, Joseph didn't quite think it looked like the thing, but I'm glad that we have the kind of community where, like, we ourselves don't have to step in and figure things out or stuff like that. Because, like, the thing is, unfortunately, guys, we're working more and more, and what we're hoping more and more is that you guys will be able to fill the gaps for us. Because, like, we do this review once a week, and, like, we think that, you know, we're putting in an effort with it, but the issue is that we only have so much time.
Mm-hmm.
So let us move on to Tomas's next project.
Yeah. It's my third attempt at painting Master of Execution. Maybe this time I won't be disappointed with results. Well, at least I like how the glowing effect came out and the idea of adding it to the mouth grill. For verdigris, I used my old method for rusty armor, but with bluish-green base instead of orange. Still not decided how I will make the skirt. Maybe some gory human skin? Freshly torn from the victims? Ooh. Well, that's definitely one way to go about it.
I'll be interested to see how it goes, because, like, when I see this evolution, like, I do believe that's before he adds the red into the armor and such.
Yes.
So, like, this is going to be highlighted up quite a lot. So it'll be interesting seeing how it actually looks once it's finished. I feel this is one of those ones where, like, I sort of have to wait for the journey to be finished, so to speak.
Yeah. Perhaps, but I really love the way Tomas is able to do those eyes
The
and
glowing.
the glowing. Like, he's just so incredibly good at that. I would like to do something like that.
Alright, well, maybe one day you'll be able to. Alright, next up we have Larry.
Larry! Working on shading different methods. The first I used an acrylic marker I got at an art store a month ago for like $1. It worked better than I expected. The second I was going to use Starship Filth, but it was a little too much, so I used a grease oil wash. I like the dirty look, but it's not quite what I was looking for. I think more of a straight black oil wash for the harder bit parts, like the helmet and chest, and a pale blue for the softer cloth parts, like the torso.
I don't know.
Straight black oil wash for the harder parts, and chest pale blue for the softer cloth.
I don't think it's bad. I'm going to be honest, Larry. I think you might be overthinking this one, because, you know, it's a childhood moment guy. But, like, I look at it, and I look at it as a single speeder guy, right? And I think that based off how often we've seen this guy up, I think we're hitting diminishing returns. What do you think?
Yes, I agree.
Like,
because he looks good.
Yeah, he looks
fine.
He looks fine, right? But I mean, when are you going to be happy? Right? And, like, that's not an existential question, right? I'm asking it literally. When will you be happy with this model? And I see this pattern repeat with you, Larry, a bit. So what usually happens is you'll put a lot into some models, right? And you'll start enjoying the process, and then you'll start watching you'll start working on other models, and you just sort of get into a rut. So, like, think, was it Dracula versus Man-Thing? So, like, Man-Thing you got really into, you're really loving it, you're like, alright, you know, I got this connection, blah, 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 blah. And I think with the projects where you start losing your fun, now, like, obviously, I'm not you, I don't know what's in your head, that sort of thing, right? But for me, I just think to myself, you know, based off the amount of time we've seen it, and the sort of lack of progress that it's had,
Yeah.
that it's falling into that category.
Yeah, I think you're trying to force it to be something that it might not be.
I think he wants it to be really good and he wants it to be excellent, and I can understand that feeling, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, your hobby is your own. But if something's making you miserable, maybe it's time to move on.
Yeah, just sort of finish it to the best you can.
Yeah.
And then move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because, I mean, you do great stuff, but...
Yeah, because I think it's looking good. Like, it's not like, oh, it needs that final je ne sais quoi or anything like that. I think it does what it's meant to do. It looks like something from Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're doing good with this guy. Just put on your final bits, and I think move on to a different model.
Well, unfortunately, the mouse has gone missing, so it's going to be another interesting one. So, is this an update by... Okay, so last
so
two...
after that, this is an update with Luke Cassie.
Okay.
He's added some gore.
I see.
I made some changes to the Creeks models. Namely, I added some more glow effects with fluoro paints. Glazed the flesh around the metal parts to make it look more irritated, and added some blood effects on his gauntlets. Is it an improvement from before?
I would say for the blood effects for sure. So I'm going to see if I can click on the plus. I can. I've done it.
Hooray.
Without a cursor, I have managed to succeed. I'd say adding the blood effects has really helped with the metallics, particularly the hands. I think that the pipes are still not perfect, but essentially they'll do. And same with the legs. I think there's still a bit of not as great. I do think that the irritation has helped the skin a lot, but I don't think that the skin was ever the issue with that model. Right? I think it was always the other stuff that was going on with it. I still think that the base feels the exact same way that it did, but I think the blood is essentially, you know, that what are you shaking your head at?
This model is so sad.
I see.
I don't like that he's got so much gone.
Yeah, that's okay. Beyond the commentary on the model, do we have any commentary on the paint job?
No, I think the gore effects definitely add something to it. Just a little bit more story.
Alright. Well, we will move on from that. So I think it was pretty good, but yeah, I think still the basing needs work. But I do think the gore effect helped you out a lot. Alright, next up we have
Charlie. In the spirit of your latest video, here is a whip model I've made start on to break out of a rut and to be different challenge in comparison to smooth tower armor. I'm in that, this isn't looking good phase. Oh, okay. This isn't looking good phase. Okay.
Look, I don't think that this is bad. It's just not good at the moment, right? So I think that you are definitely breaking out of your shell if you're going from Tau to this.
Yeah.
Just keep on pushing, man. Just keep on pushing, and you'll get there.
Yeah, I think you're just facing the 90% rule right now.
Would you like to explain that for people,
so,
please?
your models or your artworks won't look good until you reach a 90% completion. Then you'll start feeling like, oh yeah, it's all coming together now. Yeah, it all happens a bit late in the game, but just keep going with it and you'll find that it's not as bad as you thought it was.
Yeah, I would 100% agree with Sunny there. And, yeah. Hey, Penguin.
Hey!
The cursor is back.
Oh, yay!
Along with Raven and Penguin.
Hey, you guys are late. This is, I don't know how many posts we've been in.
It's alright, Sonny. Calm down.
Oi.
Calm down.
Oi.
That's enough woman for today.
Ah! See. Anyhow, we've got to just say it.
Yeah, and he's been working hard for somebody who's focusing on playing games.
Oh. He always seems to get it done.
Alright, you want to read?
The next wave of Aeon Trespass models. The Cycle 5 monsters. The boat and sea monster in the first picture are ready for basing. Currently working on the Seaweed Man, the Your Fleece in the second picture, but he's getting there. I've ideas for Big Blue Madukito. Hopefully I can get these done fast. I've only got 3 to 4 days play left in Cycle 4.
So, like, it's so funny because I think that this is a great example of a small scale boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got lots of details. You don't have to do up every single detail, right? But it looks great with just a little painting. And then over here we got this guy. Yeah, let me show me the claws. Yeah. And I'm just like, how do you go from that to this?
A little memey, it does look a little memey.
Like, he's like, yeah, I use Colgate. Yeah. Because of how white his teeth is. Like, I think that it's mostly the sculpt, but I think you definitely have to bring those teeth down back to a bony consistency rather than a
pearly whites, as we say.
But
I'd like to have some pearly whites.
Okay.
Drink one too many coffees.
Yes, that's definitely the problem. But this guy, I think, has come along a lot. But I do think with his dangly bits, if you made it that sort of yellow that was shown by what Tomas showed,
yeah,
I think that would help a lot.
Yeah, I think, look, it's a thing.
But
it's a thing.
I really like the way that the sort of blade's done in that sort of like, I don't know whether it's an accident or on purpose.
Like that salt rusted look? Yeah,
well, it looks like almost like moss covered, like barnacle attached sort of thing.
Yeah. Penguin saying something. In my defense, I was on the phone making angry penguin noises at the insurance company. Fair enough.
We know of the evils of insurance companies.
Very much so.
We're not going to go into details. Let us move on.
I think it's very well done. Very well done.
Yeah, no, he's certainly coming along. Speaking of coming along, this guy.
Ooh, more Tomas. Small update of Master of Execution. Most annoying part, bones done. Only skirt and few leather parts left. Probably I'll also add some refinement to armor plates, a bit more texture, highlight, etc.
I have to say I really like the way that he's done the bones.
Yeah.
You know, like that they're fresh, meaty bones.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're not some ancient bones. I feel like this is far more corn than what we often see.
Okay.
And I hadn't even really thought about it that much. Like, the idea of them just dressing themselves in the bones of their enemies.
Yeah.
Like, it does feel very corny.
And, like, I do agree with you. I didn't really think of it. Like, I think I couldn't really articulate it at the point. But, yes, the more, like, fresh meat that has been stripped off the bones look that they've got on. It's such a stark contrast to the armor.
Yeah.
And it just feels so out of place, right? That you feel that disgust factor of like, ew, why are you dressing yourself up in bones, yo?
Also, I think the way that he's done leather is looking interesting at the moment, but we'll see where that evolves to.
Yeah.
I think the glow effect looks good. I think that the red being brought up has looked a lot better now. I'm still interested in seeing the final product, but I have to say that the bones, I think, is just a fantastic piece. And the other part of it, See, with those fresh bones, look like we don't get to see a good look of it with the skull in the background.
Oh, yeah.
But what it does make that feel like, right? Because we're pattern recognition machines. That's what we do. That's who we are, right? So if we think that this is a fresher kill, we'll think that the other ones are fresher kills as well, regardless of what we're being shown. Does that make sense?
I do think so, yes.
Yeah. Alright, so next up.
How's this?
It's Member Monday. # Member Monday. Every week I ask the same thing. What makes a digital space? It's not the software, the settings, or the server. It's you. Why must you ruin it?
I'm not ruining it.
You're ruining it.
No.
Yes. Every shared whip, every kind comet, every quiet like, it builds something real. So let us welcome our new members. And on behalf of all of WAYPN, we have just one question for you. What are you painting now?
I was going to say keep those brushes wet, but I was like, wait, no, that's not right.
Make a post about it. Even if it's a half finished or a glorious mess, do it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, am I going to get to finish?
Yes.
Here we aren't about perfect. Here we are about process. Speaking about process, so this wasn't perfect, but it was something that I finished for the tabletop parlor guy.
I feel like your one's way better than mine. I like your concept better.
The concept of these two people just fighting.
Yeah, it's two people fighting, right? But here's how the pose reads: like, dude's going to kick her in between her legs, and also grab the boobie.
Well, I think it's also the fact that I think it doesn't quite look like that. Like, I think depending on where you look,
yeah,
you're like, okay, well, he's the bad guy here, right?
Yeah.
Until you go to this pose where, like, she's obviously powering over him and he's pushing the finger up and she's got the thing. It looks like he's more slipping.
Yeah, slipping.
And so I like how there's more than one thing, and her with the sort of almost screaming face.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's helped a lot. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's an interesting piece.
I think it's so interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
it has so much character and story. Yeah. Like, you can really tell the story. Like you said, there's a duopoly there. You could see sorry, it's not duopoly, it's a dichotomy, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you can see one angle of the story, and you can see another angle of the story, and you're just like, what's going on? And you can build a little story in your head.
Yeah, and, like, because one of them is high class with a gun, and the other one is low class and punk looking. One's a man, one's a woman, blah, blah, blah.
And then the dude's, like, flipping her off, and yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, who has the power in this situation is the question.
Is it the lady or is it the guy who's like, stick it to the man?
Yeah.
Right.
Alright, next up we have...
there we've got my one. Here's my entry for Plucky's Tabletop Parlors Kit Jam 2025. The theme, A Breach Too Far. Mine is not as inventive as Henry's, but I thought my idea for going too far would be this roided out ganger guy who had robotic limbs and he chops his own head off to become that much more cybernetic. Parts used are 3D prints by Anvil Industries.
I liked your one. I thought it was like just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Like, because like, if you think about a breach too far, it's like, well, I need more cybernetics, so I'm going to remove my own head. It's like, too far.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's not quite... Not quite it, my guy.
Not quite it, my guy, indeed.
But yeah, that's why I thought that was the idea that sort of popped into my head. But I think I got this idea by looking at the box and what was next to each other, and I was like, oh, I guess I could do that. But it was a very lazy entry, I will say.
I don't know. I think it was decent.
All right. Well, we've got more.
All right.
From
Next up,
Spitfire.
and they were asking about the Discord.
All right.
And I harshly rebuked them. I said,
Yeah,
no.
the Discord is members only.
Yes,
You gotta become a member.
Yes, but if you want to become a member, it's pretty easy.
Just join. Click the join
It doesn't
button.
cost that much. Trust me.
$2.
All right.
Alrighty, we have RJ.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Bear Whip, are you? I like that he shows us the exact step-by-step progress of everything. And yeah, it's got a very lovely sort of, what is that toy? The one with the cube heads, the
Funko Pop?
Funko Pop feel to it, but gore.
I do feel, however, like the gore went a bit far here. Because, like, the gore, like, with the way that it is here, you almost lose some of that yellow colour. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay, when I see it from, like, here, with the, I'm not, like, zoomed in like you, seeing it from afar, oh, the red really takes a lot of that attention.
Yeah.
Like, up close, you it doesn't really feel as bad, but from far, it really does take over the piece. But it's alright. So
it's not bad.
I think it definitely adds that much more impact to with the juxtaposition of, like, you've got this cute thing with the gore.
Yeah. Well, let us move on. And next up, we have
Charlie, 2 posts in a week. I'm on a roll. I waver between liking these and thinking they could do with a bit more embellishment. Now I just need to go get the courage to start the Ghost Keel. I really like this color scheme.
Yeah, it is the Rebel color scheme.
It's a Rebel color scheme, but I feel that it gives a very different feeling. Because you've got the high saturation teal, and you've got a fairly high saturation orange, but it's actually more the pastel.
Yeah, it's more a peach, isn't it,
peach.
really?
And it is very hopeful. It feels very hopeful, very vibrant, especially when you pair it with the design and shape elements of the towel, where you have it's like all square and blocky, right? But it feels like pixels, like pixels. I don't know how to say it. Because of the ears, look like a little bit of rabbit ears. It has a cutesy vibe to it.
Yeah.
And it feels quite innocent. Not a bad idea. Not say that innocent is bad. It just adds to the good guy vibes.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I think this really feels quite Gundam because it's so poppy. But I really like what he's done with the base too.
The bases are very interesting. I wonder what's going on with that flag. But next up, we have me. It's Tesseract Tuesday. Alright, it's Talk Tuesday. # Talk Tuesday. So Tuesday is where I check in on folks and make sure you're doing alright with your projects. Because, let's be honest, we can all get stuck sometimes. And having someone ask how it's going can make a world of difference. So, want a hobby buddy? Just comment on the post and say I'd like to be included in Talk Tuesday, and make sure that you check in each week. Simple as that. Now for today, we're painting up the Necro Monolith on stream. Yes, the big boy. Along with some of the bits and pieces for a commission. And we're also testing Restream. So Restream.io was a minor apocalypse. It was the not good. I'm just going to say that one could even consider it to be bad.
Yes.
You
were not having a good time.
No, I really wasn't.
But you worked very hard and you found a different solution.
Yeah, I found a different solution, but I still don't have a solution to the chats just yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying my best, guys. I'm trying my best. But let us move on from Talk Tuesday to Tomas Tuesday.
Yes. We should do Tomas Tuesday.
Ooh.
Master of Execution done. I have to say, painting the skirt was a lot of fun, unlike the goddamn bones. Most likely, I'll never be as good at gory stuff as RJ, but I make steady progress. As for now, I don't have any idea for a base. I plan Small World Eater's army and want them all to have matching bases, so I'll wait with them until I have some good idea.
You know what I really...
You definitely have an eye for God, Tomas. Don't worry about it.
What I really like about what Tomas says here, right, is the fact that we have members who are jealous of other people's skills, who are also jealous of other people's skills.
Yeah.
And like, what that just shows, guys, right, is... Have you guys ever heard the story of Mama's Cookbook?
No.
So Mama was a lady who she realized that there's a science to cooking. This is back in, I think, like the mid 1900s, and she realized that, you know, this person always had the best pie. This person always had the best apple pie. This person always had the best, you know, caramel cheesecake or whatever it was, right? And she's like, it's science. If you just follow these recipes, you're going to get the thing that you want. It's not all, you know, like, it's not this unachievable thing. And I feel it's a lot like, have you ever seen that comic, and it's the girl who has the stripy pants, and it's like, how could I ever get to be as good as you? She says, practice. and then, you know, then there's the guy continuing to go on. It's like, oh, you must just be so blessed. And then it's just her, it's practice. And like, I think that's what it is, guys. Like, just learning those recipes, doing those things, and you can become as good as the person that you admire. Just learning what they have done. And like, so recently there was another commissioner who's come up in our area, and we had to step up. Yeah. We had to step up because the way they took photos, the way they did things, so much better than us. And we're like, all right, well, we got to step up. And like, this is what I love about community, how it drives other people. And I hope, Tomas, that you drive RJ and RJ drives you, and that both of you are driven by someone else here as well. Or, you know, maybe you are the guys who are helping drive someone else. So just remember that no matter how bad you ever think that you are, there's always going to be somebody better. But you know what beats, you know, that innate talent? Just hard work. Yeah. Putting in the hours and practice.
And also asking questions.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let us move on to
Anthony Holmes.
Yes.
My progress so far for my 5-month 1,000 points challenge. 31 models down and only 40 models to go, with 2 months, 11 days to go.
All right, so first off, I think it's a very interesting color scheme. Second of all, great basing. Third of all, what you really need to do is get yourself a light box, or like...
Yeah, just so we can see one individual guy to see close up what you've done.
Or even these guys together, because like currently you're getting a lot of glare from the what's going on with this
because the larger the picture, the harder it is to focus.
But
everything.
Yeah, I think this is a glass table because I can see a vacuum cleaner underneath. But the thing is, feel free to put them up again. Okay, we're not going to be upset if you put these up again, right? because I think that you put a lot of work into here. So what I think he's done, which is very interesting, I'm not 100% sure on this, but what I think he's done is he's put on some sort of varnish for the armor, but left the arms and more exposed flesh bits as a more matte look, which I think is very interesting. I like the way that he's done his basing. You know, I think it has the right amount of separate elements, at least for the termagants. Some of these guys up back, I think, need some additional elements, mainly this guy right here and this guy right here. But other than that, I think it's all looking good. What are your thoughts, Sonny?
I think it's looking very good, very sort of evil. The vibes are very evil, but it's a bit hard for me to tell because it's like so zoomed out. But I think from this angle, it looks good. I think you're meeting your goals.
It looks like a swarm, that's for sure.
Like a swarm, a swarm of red. Ooh.
Yeah. Anyway,
I feel scary.
Let us move on. Next up, we have Larry. And I'm going to have to look, but it looks like Larry was left behind, so I'm going to have to click on one of these.
Testbot says hi. Still recovering from the wedding Saturday, so not feeling very productive. Just playing with some pigments I had in my box. Used my airbrush to try out Vallejo Shifter's gold/pale blue. Then a blue-green pigment and black gold. I don't think I had enough black pigment mixed in. Mix the pigment with gloss varnish. Works best over a gloss surface with different looks based on the base color. And since I was fooling Adams, I went ahead and put down white for the Mad Cat cockpit windows. What was looking good?
I'll show you again. So there's...
Oh, shine. It is fun to see the effects on the back of the spoon. The spoon test.
I believe, this is the one that I thought looked good.
It's like a blue steel. Like, I don't know.
This is the one I liked.
Oh, yeah. It's like a pearlescent.
No, not this one, the front of the spoon, I think, looked better. Yeah.
This is black?
Yeah, but it just feels like sparkly black.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think... sparkly...
But what I do like is how he shows us everything. He shows us tests. He shows us all of that sort of stuff. Alright, so...
I like Testbot.
Yeah, I don't think that this green, gold, black sort of worked out for you at all. The great thing about Larry is how, like, he'll show off all of these interesting paints. And he'll put effort into showing things like the color shift, because we can see it shift to blue in this video. But if it was a static image, like we were looking at before, you'd never see that shift to blue. And it's just through stuff like this that allows us to see these things. Alright, so I think for the greater majority of them, except that one blue that I liked, I think they didn't quite work out for you. But I think that that's great that he tested them, because, you know, now we have that bit of extra information. And it is great to see tests. It's great to see people branching out. And, like, that's the thing that I think is great about Larry. Larry never stops trying things. Alright, so next up we have...
James! Update on Kill Team, just filling in all the places that
we did not see James this Thursday.
We did.
Did we?
Yes. Oh no, not this Thursday. It was last Thursday.
Yeah.
Alright. Just filling in all the places that I had not put paint on yet. The lamp is a big help painting with being able to see everything more clearly, and especially those dark areas like under or beneath weapons and shoulders on the miniatures. And it that's the thing, isn't it? It's such a duh thing.
Yeah.
But you don't truly realize it until you see the light shining over there, and then you're like, oh yeah, why didn't I do this before?
Yeah, well, I think light is one of the biggest things that will step you up as a painter.
Yeah.
So we had these fluorescent lights installed, which I think were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying they're bad by anything, but then we got these ring lights which were overhead, and I think that really stepped up things again. Let's see. There is a comment about a tactical Larry.
Larry is a lot more methodical than I am. All kinds of mech goodness.
Yes, we understand that the penguin likes the mech.
He does like the mech.
But yeah, like, I look at these guys, and like, it's not the world of difference, but I was talking to James the other day, which I do believe was last Thursday, and he was just like, oh my god, I can't believe how much of a step up just getting lighting is. And the next thing I told him is like, and the next thing will be getting goggles. So I don't use them all the time, but I do use them, which is the magnifying glass headset with lights. And like, particularly with light, I think does make a difference. It's not those ones where the tiny circle ones, but the one where it's just sort of a disc. I shouldn't say a disc, a square panel. That's your magnifying glass, which I think is a lot better. You're not going to get the same level of magnification, but the other issue will be that you won't need to, because the problem with those circle ones, like, you can get more magnification, yeah, sure, but you're painting the model about a 1/4 inch away from your eyeball.
Yeah.
And like, that's just, it just won't work out. And I think that these are looking cleaner, right? Not astronomically cleaner, but they are looking cleaner. And I think James is like starting to slowly take his step ups in the painting game. And it's good to see that, because I think it's very helpful for other people who may have been or are at the previous point in his journey, and understanding, you know, how you get better and so on. And I think he is really putting in a strong effort.
Yeah. And you know, Warhammer models are not easy to paint.
No.
They're very tedious. They take a lot of mental energy. Speaking of, we have Thomas once again. This guy was standing on my desk since fall and bugged me like a sting of remorse. You probably could see him in the background of some photos in his previous darker state. I think it's about time to do something with him. This is as far as I was able to go before going to work today. That's pretty good before going to work today, yeah.
Yeah, it's decent. Very decent.
Yeah, of course you got a little bit of blue over your black, but that won't matter when you're doing the final thing. But that face, ooh, well done on the face. Very good with the definition, but the red tones is so stark against the blue. It just looks like such a contrast. Maybe because of the red, it feels a bit like it's a complementary sort of thing to the blue, I guess. So it's really, really quite popping. Well done on that. And the eyes, of course, the glow effects is your specialty, and it came out really nice. And we'll see more progress on this later on. Aha! It seems that RJ has done even more on the killer teddy bear.
Well, let's take a look. Or shall we? I don't know. But he's very good at making these textures and incorporating them into the model. Like, do you remember with the very emotional piece he did, like the change between the smoother areas and the rusted ones?
Yeah.
It was just so dramatic.
Yeah, I know, and it just really adds to this piece. You just go, ah, look, it's getting clean once again. Gonna call this Pick Me Up project done. It was fun. It did its job. I'm back in the mood to paint. Yeah.
I feel like the glowing eyes were a bit over the top.
Yeah,
He's really
I quite liked it as it was before.
with the blue.
Yeah, the blue, like the blue was very. It was a nice pop of color against all that warmth of the yellow and the red. And the blue was a nice touch, and now it just feels. Nothing wrong, but it just doesn't have that same level of juxtaposition as it once
Yeah,
did.
yep. I agree. I also think that the red took over a bit. Like I feel like if this area, like there would like this was more just splattered. I get it that he's got a steel clamp up there, but I feel that the blood and the gore would have been better being localized.
Yeah.
Like I get that the idea is that he's also bit people and blah blah blah, but I think it's better to have it be much more.
Yeah. I do see that this is something you tend to do, RJ, is that you do tend to get quite excited with the OSL effects, and then they get a bit too far, like they reach a bit too far, when they might have been not more beneficial to be localized a bit.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, I think this is just a paint job that you were trying to do to get back in the mood for Vampirella, as
Cal
calls it. So I was just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
If it gets you back in the mood, then it gets you back in the mood.
Yep. All right. So next up, we had the Whip Wednesday morning show, and this time we actually managed to properly restream, and I think we even managed Twitch this time.
The bear could easily fit into the 40k universe.
Maybe
demon possessed.
Yeah, demon possessed or something like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not entirely. It's, I guess, not really grim dark. I think it's just more gore.
But one of the things I've really enjoyed is we seem to be getting a bit more of an audience. Not massive, but not nothing. Right?
And it's a little bit of a win all round because it helps us get work done.
And it hopefully helps you get work done too. Alright, next up we've got Stanley Trotter.
Yeah, I've been working on a BT for a friend as a part of a model exchange hosted by a YouTuber called Flashing Badger. I've made an Emperor's Champion and given it a 3D printed banner so he can use it as an as an ancient as well. Sorry, I don't know why I read that as accident. This is quite a different model for me. I paint salamanders and SOB.
It's time to bring back the rule.
The rule of make fun of the acronyms.
Indeed.
Because SOB means something very different.
And what does it mean, Sonny? What does it mean?
We can't say it out loud.
What does it mean?
I don't know. So what is SOB in this context? Do you know?
Son of a bee.
Annie.
What?
Tell me which SOB means what.
Sister of Battle.
Oh! Fry. Why didn't I think of that? I'm finding it a good experience, as I just started my own painting channel with a friend, not the recipient of this model. Well, that's great. You should tell us more about this painting channel. So that we may stalk you. Well, I think it's looking very good, but the layer lines do look quite obvious.
Yeah, the layer lines are quite obvious. I was just like, is this a... And then he's like, 3D print? No, I went 3D print.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it would be as bad with this if it was just had the layer lines on this, because it'd feel as if it's made of some sort of textured material.
Yeah.
But when it's also on the pole, so what I'd look to do if I was using such things is potentially sand the pole until it's actually flat.
Oh, flat?
Yeah, when I say flat, so you sand the pole, you don't absolutely go ham on it, right? You sand the pole enough so that it feels smoother. And that would be a real massive difference, like you do with your fingers when you...
yeah, okay. I didn't
rounding.
Yeah. I didn't actually notice that there were the layer lines on the pole itself. I think I can agree because like rather than redoing the flag, the cloth,
Yeah.
you can just sort of scrub down the pole and then just put that same steel color over and call it done. Easy fix. Someone order brandy.
Yes, SOB.
Right.
But I also like the way that he's done the glowing sword because I feel like that's very, very thematic, and it's a great way of sort of escaping the intense level of details that you might have to do for such a sword, doing all the little black bits and all the little and you got to show the fire how it's and like this just looks good,
Yeah.
right?
I think so too, yeah.
All right, so is there anything else that you want to comment on the model other than missing base?
I do wonder if you should fix up that pooling a little bit on the tabard.
Oh, yep, I agree. Yeah, no, that does seem quite stark around there. Yeah.
And I do think the glowing of the eyes is good, but I think you need to trim down that white glow a bit more. Just go back in with the black and just sort of just take it back just a tiny bit. Just so it's a little bit more thin glow, and trust me, it'll do its job. You don't need much against the black to create the glowing eye effect. You'll find that just a thin amount is all that you need. Yeah, I think other than that, it's looking really good.
All right.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh.
So next up we have more from Tomas. Tomas has been doing a lot this week.
Yeah, he's been really pushing. Currently, I'm fighting with glowing markings on armor, and I'm definitely not winning. Theoretically, I know what to do, but well, in theory, there is no difference between theory and practice. In practice, there is. About more technical stuff, I wanted to work smart, not hard, so I varnished armor to gloss and used capillary reaction of white ink to make most of the work for me, and when it dried, I just varnished it again, this time matte. Yeah, I tried to do that with our red lady. Didn't work out very well.
Yeah, but to be fair, like her recesses aren't nearly as
it's not
prominent.
nearly as deep, and all of them was so tightly packed together as well.
Yeah.
So it's not like this. But I think you're doing good. Look great. Looks just like the box art with the blue and the on top of the white, and then you've also tried to make sure to focus a little bit more, leaving some whites in places to really show those parts of concentrated light. So well done on that. All right, and I think it's coming along well. So shall we move on to the next one?
Okay, let us move on to the next one.
Is this something you want to read out?
Yeah, so this is just the night show, and basically we were trying out the restream again, and we really like that you guys have been joining us. Like, that does mean a lot to us. It really does help out. But next up we have more from James. James Kill Team update. Did the shading tonight, and according to the guide, next steps are highlights and plasma weapons. I also added a Star Wars bag charm I got on holiday to my lamp just because I wanted to. I wanted to personalize my painting area a little more. That's very cute. Yeah. But yeah, it's coming along pretty good. James, keep up the good work. Yeah. No, I'll be interested to see how the plasma works out for you, because like I don't know how the guide will help with the plasma, because like some of the times guides for plasma are absolutely phenomenal and astonishing. Other times I'm like,
what have you done?
Why have you done this? So I'll look forward to seeing what's next. Alright, so next up,
ooh,
it seems to be a guy.
A very fancy.
Did I actually click my own one?
No,
I did not. I did not click my own one, so I'm gonna have to.
Oh wait, there it is.
Yeah, no, I just opened it just then. Alright, so, Sunny, would you like to explain what we're looking at?
We're doing a Necron monolith.
Yeah.
And I think originally when I took the photos, I was like, but it really looks quite lovely.
Well, I was very skeptical about the glow here.
Mm-hmm.
So with the glow, for the first step, what I actually did was I got some very fine white. So you've got to understand that when this was in the airbrush, it was super thinned down. More than you're thinking. And then, so what I had here with these ones, we had these sort of aqua turquoise
looking.
Almost marble-like.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a really, really thin coat of that white. And then we had some transparent chartreuse that we made. So we specifically made it for this project. So it's a combination of lime green and canary yellow by SMS.
Yeah, it's advanced, SMS advanced.
It's a lacquer paint.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've been working with that. Now, I think the glow came out absolutely fantastic.
I think it really just adds to it.
Yeah, it's not over the top, but I think it really does sort of give that feeling of a glow. Like, I really like how the stairs came out.
I think the stairs really
like this is where we'd usually like to have people on to, go back and forth with, but unfortunately, we're already an hour deep into the review.
And I also like how you added those subtle white along the spine of the scorpion dude.
Oh, okay. So, give me a moment to get to the picture of Scorpion Dude.
Yeah, so along the tail, just so that I could add a bit of the Tesseract glow over it.
Yes,
and that
really
pushed it to feel like something more. And at first we were thinking about, you wanted to put even more white onto the orb to give it that final touch.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? No, leave it.
Yeah.
Because it has that ghostly feeling to it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah. And now that we take the pictures, so worth it.
Yeah. I think that the glows have come out really, really well.
Really good.
Like, it's so subtle, but you see the green glow around here.
Yeah, that tiny ring of the glow.
Yeah, it's not massive, right? But it's noticeable enough to be there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the thing that I
really
enjoy.
I like that, because I think with that, you look at that and you're just like, oh yeah, whatever. But like, it just really picks the thing up, I think. And I don't think you got a good picture of it here, but I think the way that you've done the thrusters just really made it pop quite a great deal.
Yeah, I didn't really take much of a good shot of the thrusters because you had it pseudo assembled, and I couldn't really move around the model as easily. Penguin said the glow effect is very well done. Thank you very much, Penguin. It looks really good.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, very happy with it.
But there's very little work that actually needs to be done with it. I think that we're going to...
as compared to some of our other showcase
Yeah, I think
pieces.
we're actually going to finish it this weekend.
Yeah, I hope so. I think all we have to do is the big bits, right?
And the guns.
And
so, like, with the guns, I've been trying to figure out, hey, how do I...
Yeah, so I think if we split it up with, like, Tesseract Tuesday and Wednesday once again...
No, I think we do it this weekend and just finish it.
Do it this weekend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We do have a few more things to do, but I think if we do that, we hit that 2-week time barrier that you've been talking about.
Yeah, you're right, okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, we're very happy with the results. Like, what we want to do with commissions is that we need to be able to...
work faster.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Alright, let us move on to our next piece, which does seem to be some sort of penguin-like creature.
Some Stargrave whip.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's looking nice, like, good, very clean base coats. Well done on that, penguin. But you're no stranger to high detailed work with all your tanks and all that you usually do.
I'll be looking forward to seeing what you do with these guys, because at the moment, like, they're just starting out.
Yeah.
It's great blocking of colours, but it is obviously a whip. So we'll see where they go in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I'm glad that you're finally getting back on the
getting back on the wagon, so to speak. So next up we have Joseph.
Just a wood and 3 random man-sized fish to do on your fleece. As I'm doing his wood, I may as well do the wood on Big Blue at the same time.
Oh no, the effect's kind of gone.
Oh yeah.
I like that effect. I do like what he's done with the dangly bits, though.
Yeah, very nice.
I think that the dangly bits have come out quite nice.
Well, the blade looks like a crab claw.
Kind of. It looks like a rusted blade to me.
Oh, it doesn't quite look rusty. Like, it's a bit too bright and orange.
Well, that's how it looks to me.
Mm-hmm.
But Big Blue Boy is still big and still blue.
Yeah.
Alright, so next up we have...
More from Tomas. As I needed a break from the librarian that currently drives me crazy, I decided to return to Iron Hand's kill team. So don't expect any update on the glowing guy in near future. I slightly changed the method I tackled them with. After painting base black color and highlights, I used diluted black ink to deepen the black tone and give it a bit of a satin finish. Also, I decreased the amount of chipping.
I think that the way that he's done the chipping on the gun looks absolutely fantastic. Look at this, Sonny.
Oh, yeah.
I think it looks very nice.
Yeah.
James has done this model, and I've seen it in person because I was helping him out with the basing.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember he was working on this.
And I think it looks really, really good.
I quite like the grenade throwing.
I think like the problem is like it can look quite dodgy, but I think it's a really interesting detail. It's a really good way to give somebody a great grenade, like it's actively being used.
Yeah. So this is like what, smoke grenade?
Yeah. Alright, so next up we've got Douglas Evans.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen Douglas in a while. Remember the guy, he did the
smoke with the green smoke
with
the guy and he's sort of lounging around.
Yeah, I forget the necro
His painting studio has a bit of a theme, doesn't it? A bit of a vibe.
Which is good. Definitely gives your photos that much more of a
character.
But yeah. I haven't posted in a while. Thought I'd shared what I've been up to. Happy Friday, everyone. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, look at this Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga.
I think it's looking absolutely great. I like the red that he's added to the nose. There's a little duck or something in there.
It looks like a kookaburra.
It's not a kookaburra. But yeah, this is an interesting start to a model.
Mm-hmm.
Because like he hasn't done the skin first, and I don't know why he hasn't done the skin first, because usually you do the skin first because it's the most inner area.
Mm-hmm. Got a massive head.
And
it's definitely a concept piece because it's like something going on underneath the neck, like all these green guys.
Yeah. It's interesting that he leaves the skin just black because we can see the model in the background.
Yeah.
And it's obviously Anglo, and it's just like, all right, well, what's the plan?
That's the plan indeed.
Yeah, because
it seems like he does a lot of sort of airbrush base work.
Yeah.
And then move his way up, so it's just very good.
And like that's fair. That's something that we do.
Yeah, okay. Next we shall move on to...
Yeah. It's Larry with his speeder, but I know that there's at least one more after this.
I thought we normally stop after the...
No, because he got in and I'd already got it down, so Chris Shah is after Larry. Oh, you put the thing up, did you?
Yeah, that's why.
Oh no,
That's
Chris, you were too slow.
We will do it for him this one time.
No, you're right. We're going to have to start with Chris next week.
Okay.
Alright.
So we've got Larry. Repainted the main body color. Kalahari orange is a great color for a speeder bike. But in the black areas on the bike and... put in the black areas on the bike and did a little weathering with the same metal as I put on the metal sections. The brightness of the metal weathering is a little stark against the black, but I used my blackest metal mixed with some of the black I used for the base. Not great, but these are experiments more than anything, and they're good enough for tabletop should I ever play. Also tried a little scratching on one vein of the second one using a weathering pencil. Oh, weathering pencils.
Interesting. Well, I still pretty much feel the same as I did before when it comes to Larry's piece, because I think that with Larry's piece, this has been redone how many times? And so for me, Larry, I think you just get it done, my dude, and because if you're having fun with this project, keep going with it, but it's just not the vibe that I pick up from it. Is that what you pick up?
I feel like it's sort of progressing very, very slowly.
Yep.
And sometimes that's not bad. But for what it is and the goals that you seek, I think it might be
Alright.
dragging it out a bit.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, keep those brushes wet. Bye-bye. Now we'll wait the traditional second.
The 1
because
second.
otherwise it ends too early.
Ah.
Alright, bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.